Dixon has been busy. He was on with Jordy and T-Bob. He was on with Hanny and Ott. He was on with Hester. Texted me last night and said, so I got a favor to ask. I think, Shea, you said you wanted to pull the trifecta, the Baton Rouge radio Trinity, maybe you said, plus one.
Yeah, 4 of them now. I was trying to hit everyone. So I can't remember who asked first. Maybe Jacob Hester did. And then Jordy asked me. And then we're kind of spread out maybe. And then Charlie and them. So now I'm not saying no to anyone. You know, I love all you guys equally. So now I'm filled up there. And I thought to myself, I said, man, I may just hit Matt up and say, hey, look, even if I need to call in, if I need to make an appearance in the huddle, I want to touch all 4. I'm trying to home run, touching all 4 bases.
See, but if you go in the huddle, that's a surefire way not to get in because I don't ever check it, except for when Mike Detillier is here and Terrio's here and we do the Ask segments. That's it. So this is better.
So texting you is better.
Texting me is way better. So I'm glad. So, Shea, I think this is probably history, man. I think this is the first time we've ever had one person on every show on the same day. So I'm honored that it's you. Congrats.
Well, there had been debate that Hunt may have done all 3 in one day at some point, but maybe nobody's done 4.
I don't think Hunt's done all 3 because I wouldn't have Hunt on the show. Well, first of all, Hunt doesn't come on anymore. Like, Hunt used to come on AFR every Friday. No, I'm sorry. It was every...
was a back in the day reference.
Yeah. Okay. Hunt used to come on with me. What day of the week? Maybe it was Friday. I don't remember. But anyway, then when Derek left, Hunt took Derek's spot temporarily in 2016. We're going way back now. And then when Hunt, of course, they hired T-Bob. Hunt didn't come back to my show. He was done doing radio, and then he popped up on with Jordy and T-Bob. And I was like, what the hell, man? Like, you were on my deal every week. So, but I don't think Hunt's been on every show in the same day. I don't think he's probably done the Friday morning with Jordy and T-Bob and Hester's show on a Friday, but I don't think he would have done the other 2. So this is a first, Shea. Congrats.
I feel good.
You should.
I feel good about this.
Okay, but we got to talk recruiting. And when you've done 3 interviews already, the challenge for me is keeping this fresh. Agree? Like, how do I do anything different, right? I mean, it feels like this is going to be challenging. So I'll do my best to ask relevant questions, maybe in a different way, so we can keep this fresh. So first thing I want to know is,
do they get Jordan Burch?
Hey, look, that's a good question. I think that's the one I'm probably 50-50 on. Look, I think the simplest way to lay this one out is, do you give USC the benefit of the doubt for him living in Columbia, him already being committed to South Carolina at December signing day, and then him not really ever saying he's publicly wavering, then, yeah, it would make sense that he sticks with USC, and I could give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm not far on them beyond 50-50, knowing that when he committed to South Carolina, LSU felt like they were right there. Then he doesn't sign, goes on to say LSU was his number 2 team very publicly. So that was the toughest thing to say no to. Was uncommittal on visits publicly, and then showed up at LSU. And I don't think the USC side was too hip to that before he was already there, and, you couldn't put an end to it. So I can see both sides. I really can. Like I said, I'll give the benefit of the doubt to USC, knowing that they've already got him committed and that he lives in Columbia. But, boy, I think the job Ed Orgeron and them have done, and if they were in it all year and even in December, they were probably more in it when they went on to win a national championship. And when he comes to town in January, he gets to see that trophy and a team that was 15-0 and then goes home to a program like South Carolina that has not had that sort of success. I think the Tigers are hanging around here. I wouldn't be surprised by it, is how I'll put it.
Makes a lot of sense. Shea Dixon there talking about Jordan Burch.
The other big target that is kind of up in the air tomorrow would be McKinley Jackson, the 4-star defensive tackle from Mississippi. He's signing early tomorrow, Shea, 9:30 a.m. How you feel?
Hey, I feel like that's how teamwork works. That's why they go so well together. There's 2 big guys left. They each touched on him. I would feel better about Burch than I do Jackson, which may be odd to say because Jackson's a Mississippi kid. He's been committed to LSU before. He's certainly been around campus a lot more. But I think this one is just one of those where when you're recruiting a defensive lineman like this out of Mississippi, and at this point in the game, you've got all of the SEC West, the majority of it is in the race. I mean, Auburn, LSU, Bama, and A&M are going to have hats on the table. He gave LSU an official visit, but it was in this window where they didn't have Aranda and Dennis Johnson, and Dennis Johnson, recruited Mississippi and obviously D linemen. And it was before they named Pelini the DC. So Ed Orgeron's been kind of swinging down the stretch with just him and Bill Johnson as D-line coach. I just think that Bama may edge it out, but boy, when it comes to predicting where kids in Mississippi go to college and it's involving like 3 to 4 SEC teams, your guess, and you don't even follow recruiting all that much, is that you would be just as good as mine or anybody else's. I think he's done a good job keeping it close to the best. So I say LSU doesn't get either of them, but they're in it for both of them. I could see maybe Burch pulling off a shocker, but I wouldn't Debbie Downer the moment. I think that at least on 24/7, this is the best LSU class in the past decade point-wise. So knowing that, it at least says something to the type of quality of talent they've already signed, and then the guys they'll sign tomorrow.
Makes a lot of sense. Shea Dixon's with us from Go 24/7.
All right, so let's start worst-case scenario. Let's say LSU goes 0 for 2 on those guys tomorrow. What do you expect that they would do? Would they hold all 3 spots or one of those spots and sign 2 others? What's your best read if they go 0 for 2?
Yeah, look, they're signing another good question. They're signing 19, or they signed 19 in December. So they got 3 new commits since then. Kevontre Bradford, a running back, Dwight McGlothern, a DB. Those are a couple of 4-star guys in Texas, and then Alex Adams, a 4-star receiver in Mississippi. That sort of helped buffer or at least bounce back a bit from when they had those 2 guys flip on them as receivers in December, right before the early signing period, or I guess the day of. So that gives them 22, 3 extra spots. If they don't land those other 2, Burch and Jackson, would be worst case scenario. And I think LSU would feel okay about just sitting right there, because that wouldn't be the end. You can go after grad transfers. They've had some commitments who are going to be potential late qualifiers, much like a Justin Jefferson was. You can go that route, or you can hold them, carry them into next year's class, and that is sort of the one way where you can get around the 25-man signing class and go over it in a cycle. So there's options, and I think that LSU would see those options as being potentially greater than going after someone late in the game that wasn't Burch or McKinley Jackson.
Is there any other names involved as far as LSU finishing out this class? Will they hold a scholarship? Will they hold 2 scholarships? Or do you think they fill out the 25, Shea?
Well, I'm watching middle linebackers. That's what I'm going straight to the transfer portal if that's me. We know the Dante Starks news that he's suspended indefinitely from the team. Kendall McCallum was a middle linebacker, and he transferred out, I think, even right after the first couple weeks of the season. Maybe it was before then. So that's 2 middle linebackers you don't have anymore. You lost, maybe unexpectedly, both Patrick Queen and Jacob Phillips, at least unexpectedly if you're going back to signing day last year. So you had 2 middle linebackers sign already, Josh White and Antoine Sampa. There's not a ton out there for you to go grab it this second, but I would then turn around and look right into the portal. Get off the high school guys, look in the portal. Perhaps that's a way to bolster their depth. And then I'm watching some names down the stretch that I think could get into the signing class, like Cameron Jackson, who's been committed out of Haynesville, Tykeus Crawford, a 4-star offensive tackle in Texas. These are guys who need some work, I guess, in the spring semester to close strong as a senior in your final semester and ensure that you can go to a 4-year college. And teams these days, not just LSU, are becoming more hesitant to sign guys who may end up not qualifying because while for that guy, he gets to go to JUCO or whatever, his spot would not be up for grabs or in jeopardy with what he wanted to do, I guess, with his next step. That college, LSU in this case, would lose a spot and you don't get it back. So I think the plan for college teams moving forward with this new hard 25 cap is we're not really signing and placing guys anymore, into JUCOs. we'll save these spots. If you do end up, getting eligible by the end of the semester, you're in. And if not, nobody loses. You can go to the JUCO route, and we don't end up having to spend that scholarship spot.
One more for you, Shea.
Hey, Shea, look, we're projected, 6 from Louisiana in this class? Is this the first time LSU has had a top 5 class with as few as 6 in-state prospects?
If I'm ranking questions of the day, this probably might have been one of my favorite. And because I think that –
Thanks, Shea. I do my prep.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. How odd is it for those two factors to both happen at once? I think they're going to end up signing 5 guys because Cameron Jackson is not going to sign this week. He's going to wait it out. He's one of the guys who's going to try to finish strong in the classroom this semester. But they signed 5 Louisiana guys while simultaneously having the best class that they've had really in the modern recruiting era. And so in 24/7 history, I think we've been around 11 years, or that's at least where these rankings go back to. It's the best point total then. So how weird for that to happen. And Ed Orgeron said last signing day, when they signed all the guys who were stinging them, all the freshmen from last year, that, hey, look, we're going national this class. We're going to sell the brand coming off that Fiesta Bowl, but also Louisiana isn't as top heavy as we're used to. Granted, he went on to sign the top 3 players in Louisiana, and Jaquelin Roy and Jacobian Giller and Keishon Butte, but said we're going to need to figure out a way to address these needs with elite players, meaning we're going to have to go out of the state to do it, and they were able to pull it off. Well, probably taking 5 would have been less than I would have guessed. Obviously, it's the longest or lowest total in a long time. So I found it interesting that those two could coexist at once. I think it sort of maybe speaks to the brand and speaks to the staff and recruiters that they've been over over the past year.
Shea, you did it. You did it.
I can't believe it.
You did the impossible. You have climbed that mountain, Shea. All 4 shows here locally the same day. You did it. I'll be damned. Nothing else to say.
Well, and you did it because now if everyone's like, oh, he was on all 4 shows, what did he talk about? Well, just go listen to Moscona's, go stream it. And all the questions are there. You're good.
Bingo.
Don't worry about it.
I think we covered all the bases, Shea. Got them all.
Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks for allowing me to invite myself onto your show, which maybe means it comes with an asterisk. So perhaps somebody one day can invest it.
It is my damn pleasure to do this, Shea, and I'm glad to have you. Thanks so much for the time and for being so thorough and unique and putting so much effort into each answer. We appreciate you as always.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, hey, look, if something crazy happens tomorrow, I'll get back on again.
I'll look forward to it, and so will Jordy and T-Bob and Charlie and Jimmy and Hester. We'll all look forward to it. So, thanks, man. Have a good one. We'll see you.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, it's After Further Review.